taken from the forthcoming brand new artist album by Armin van Buuren, Mirage. In stores the 10th of September 2010.
Welcome back to my studio. I'm telling you a little bit of behind the scenes of my new album, tracks of my new album Mirage. This is a track, it's called Virtual Friend, and it's written in London together with the mighty, the holy Guy Chambers. He's actually the guy that is behind Tokyo Hotel, loads of other big artists like Robbie Williams. The guy's got so many golden and platinum records, incredible. And we approached him if he was interested to work with me on my new artist album, and he immediately said yes, which really was kind of a really special feeling. So we flew down to London for 3 days of writing and recording in Guy Chambers' studio for my next album. So we wrote 6 tracks, and out of which one ended up on this album. There's a couple of other tracks that you might hear at a later point. This track was actually inspired by a newspaper article that I wrote on one of the mornings of the recording session. We were in a hotel, which is close to Guy's studio. And I read the morning paper, and it said, I think you can still find a paper, somewhere around November 13, 2009. I think it was The Guardian or something like that. And there's a line, it said, autumn leaves treated as litter, so as garbage. And I thought that was a metaphor for, autumn leaves are actually very beautiful. It's, sometimes we treat something that's very beautiful very badly, For example, people living on a bench, poor people, they're left on the streets because we can't help them, or they don't want to be helped, or childhood friends that lost contact. So I walked into the studio with Guy, and after already 2 days recording, and I told him this idea that I had just briefly and in between, and I showed him the newspaper. And he immediately got what I was saying. So you want to make sort of an awareness song. Yeah, but I didn't want to judge. So the lyrics are actually not about judging. It's more about, well, I don't want to explain too much. I mean, you can listen to the song to hear the meaning of the lyrics. But we were really inspired about the newspaper article. And it brought us in sort of a lot of metaphors. And it made it worse and worse and worse. It starts off with autumn leaves. And it ends up with, an atomic bomb and really big storms. For me, this was a new path. It was really incredible to write a song with somebody famous as Guy Chambers, and it was really amazing to write in the studio, write with Guy on a song like this. So what we did, we just put some chords. He had a beautiful Steinway piano in his studio. It was a 1926 Steinway. He flew in from London, and the first demo was actually written just because of the sound of the piano. I mean, a real piano, sorry to say, but still sounds a lot better than the sampled one. So this is the first demo take. It was just some random chords that we were playing on the piano. And Guy just grabbed his guitar and started playing a top line on top of it. So we started to put these words into a melody line, and Guy knew a very famous actress and singer, Sophie Hunter. She's extremely talented, a very nice person. And she came into the studio. She just happened to be in town that day, and Guy knew her very well. So we asked her to sing that song, because the first demo version was actually sung by Guy himself, just to get the melody idea going. So we had Sophie Hunter come in. Also, Guy had a beautiful Wurlitzer there, and he had a beautiful bass guitar and a couple of other instruments that we just put down in Logic, not stretched or anything or quantized, just pretty random. So the first demo sounded something like this.
Autumn leaves we treat as litter. People living on a bench.
So it already sounds pretty cool, but then we came home thinking, this is a track on 130 BPM, but how are we going to translate this beautiful song into an Armin van Buuren track? Well, to be honest, it was pretty hard because it's such a beautiful track, but how can we tell this story in a dance music track? So we decided actually as one of the bonus tracks to release the acoustic version as well. You can find that online as well if you have a look. But for the dance music version, we wanted to have the intensity of the vocal. So it starts off with very dark basic, and it builds and builds and builds towards the climax, the panic. I mean, the words of the song progress, so the music has to have that drama as well. So actually, we took the original demo and we remixed it for the album, starting off with some making the tempo a little bit higher, 134, and the inspiration for this song really came with a bongo loop that we found when we were programming the drums. Which is a completely different mood than the original take, but the vocals just happen to fit perfectly on top of everything. And then Benno was fooling around with a guitar sample, and he came up with a beautiful guitar line which fitted so perfectly. And altogether it sounds something like this. So there's the original vocal from Sophie, which I'm really happy. And then the track, as you can hear on the album, really builds towards a massive climax, as does the lyrics of the track. And I sent it to Sophie and Guy, and they were pleasantly surprised and very pleased with how the track ended up. So there you go, you know. You make a song like this by remixing your own parts, created with Guy Chambers in London, and finished here in the studio in the Netherlands.
Taken from the forthcoming brand new artist album by Armin van Buuren, Mirage. In stores the 10th of September 2010.